have to.
I mean, out of everything that you can get or you can put your money in, I mean, real estate and stocks are the two areas that everybody that's wealthy puts their money. And like a major factor of why I even like trading stocks, or really I don't even trade too much, I buy and hold, is because one, the stock market, I believe it averages 14% appreciation yearly. Like
Yeah.
historically, you just put your money there or whatever it is, 14% interest, which beats any sort of high yield savings account you can have. And on top of that, if you have $20,000 in stocks, a lot of people think or are afraid, because the delusion of stock market goes up and down, but the stock market, like I'm saying, is a factor of one, living companies, living people. And that being said, everything trends. So yes, it will go up and down, but like your own life, your life is either trending up or it's trending down, and different depending on what scale you look at it from, a 30-year span, look at all your decisions and things of that nature. And there's ups and downs over 30 years. How well did you do? If you're spiking up, you're going up. It's the same thing as a company or as a business. And more of the story is, if you have $20,000 in the stock market, you can get a loan on that.
Welcome to the Dale Elliott podcast. I am your host, Dale Elliott, and I'm here with my friend Oliver.
How you guys doing? I'm Oliver Lloyd.
Oliver Lloyd with the legs crossed. So people, Oliver is my friend that I met out here in LA. And I want you to kind of where are you from, and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Oliver Lloyd. I'm originally from Liberia. Shout out to my Bossa people. I'm a software engineer, and I write. So for the most part, I'll say I write creatively in all spaces.
All right. So all right. To dumb it down for me and other people, I've always heard people say, yes, I am a software engineer. Yeah. What does a software engineer do?
For the most part, it depends, but you're building systems. Being a software engineer is like being a doctor for companies. And nowadays, nobody really uses paper for anything. Databases are the backbone of every single sort of company. Doing database engineering, software engineering, you're like, when you have an iPhone, you in the same sense that you manage your iPhone storage, you manage basically the process of the iPhone, or even like a Xbox or PlayStation. In the same context, a software engineer is building applications, building APIs, which are like cell phones for websites.
Yeah.
To interact with other websites. You can get lines of code from an API. You can get documents. You can send information in an encrypted form. So for the most part, I would say we're the engineers who architect, build, heal, and really ensure that everything that happens from the cloud to an application, it all works through us.
That sounds cool. You see, people, that is like when people ask me what I do, I don't even know how to explain it really. Like, I make you laugh. You're like, what do you do specifically? Kind of just do everything. So it doesn't involve coding and anything like that.
No, it does. But that's the thing too, though, because there's different languages. And that being said, that actually tidbits to something I think is really an interesting topic in a sense, because when it comes, it doesn't it includes code. But writing code is on all different levels. There's front end code, which is all the stuff you see. We consider that called GUI, the things you click, the website you interact with. Whereas the back end is a bunch of different languages, Python, Shell, that have different purposes, and different uses. But in essence, there is a lot of writing code. And depending on what place you work, because I've worked with medical companies, finance companies, you're writing code for different reasons. and there's different laws behind the code you can write and how you can store information and how you can play around with other people's information. Like I worked with, I contracted with LA Power at a point in time, and if I really wanted to, I could have not paid no power bill for the rest of my life.
See?
Just switch a couple of things.
And just move around a couple of things. You see, I think that is what I like about America from like an immigration standpoint, because like, were you born in Liberia?
I was born in Ivory Coast. I was actually in a refugee camp.
Oh, so you were born in Ivory Coast in a refugee camp, and so how did you end up in Liberia?
My my family was originally from Liberia. My grandfather was a general, and he worked in politics. And interesting enough, when all the things people hear about Blood Diamond, things of that nature, it was a slew of different civil wars that happened, and people started profiting off of children fighting and things of that nature, and a lot of people were being displaced. So my family, however large we are, started to move from Liberia to Ivory Coast to one of the refugee camp my grandfather set up. He worked with the Red Cross and saved a lot of lives. A good amount of my family is adopted through him, just picking up kids and giving them a new life.
That's crazy. Because so for instance, you've always said you're from Liberia,
Yeah.
And this is the first time you've ever said, oh, I was actually born in Ivory Coast. Because as a Jamaican, what we do, we would have like a little job. Say somebody like was born in America.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I'm Jamaican. I'd be like, yeah, but were you born there? That's a thing. I think, does Africans do that as well?
No, not as much. And also depending on if you're a child that was born during this time period, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Sierra Leone, everyone was affected. So people were displaced, moving around a lot. And that being said, especially for that time period, and you probably have it too. You got the shot on your shoulder.
Wait, don't tell me that you guys have it.
Of
as
course.
Well. So what we do to identify that we're Jamaican is we have like a mark here. There's a mark on my hand, and like this.
Have the exact same one.
I thought we were special. I think Jamaicans alone have this mark. We have like a mark here. So you have a mark right here too?
Yeah.
So how did you get that mark?
I think it's from the shots we would get to go to school, the vaccines. And I think the time period that we were raised, which for me, I always know a person was born foreign and immigrated at a certain time if they have that shot. Because they don't do it the same anymore. I don't think so.
Oh, I need to know, people of Jamaica, are we still getting those kind of shots in Jamaica, those vaccines? It's like yellow fever, measles, mumps. Yeah,
there's different when it comes to the things that you can catch in Jamaica and in West Africa. We're a special breed because in Liberia people will catch malaria and it's like nothing. Whereas let someone from here go to Liberia and catch malaria, that's a death sentence.
Yeah, you're right.
He's done for.
It's crazy how immigration works. Everybody have like we have this background and we have this story, and then we move here, and while living here we start integrating with so much people, and we start understanding like different aspects of our lives, and then our interests start change. With the current climate that we're in right now, I was fortunate enough to come here in my 20s. I came here at like 23 to live, but I've been back and forth here since like 20. And so you probably came here, what age did you like move to the States?
Like 7 years old. And I will say you're fortunate to come in your 20s because
I'm happy.
When you come to the US around the age I'm in, they really try to socialize you. They really try to beat your culture out of you in a sense. Even I came here speaking French and I can't speak any French. And I even if I tried to, something in me it's like, no, USA, baby. Like they really beat it out of you. You go to school and they'll have you in what were in my time it was called Esau, where all day they're talking to you like you're kind of stupid in a sense.
Oh, wow.
This is a chair. These are shoes. Say it back to me. Chair, shoes. I'm like, but I speak English.
Damn, I think the schooling system is different here.
It really is. But interesting enough, I think the system in America will never beat foreign systems, primarily because it's not education in the U.S. is like I don't know, it's like free healthcare in a weird way, in a sense. Like Liberia, you pay for every single level of school, so like even now,
so the best of the best is gonna continue to go to school.
And it's not even the best of the best. Even too, it's the best of the best plus the ones with money.
Yeah,
and it's funny because we always talk about like the Chinese and their education system and how they're so advanced. But after World War II, I watched a documentary about them. China closed a lot of colleges. It closed really, I think, all their colleges, and everyone had this like dying hunger to get more education because the leader at the time had or believed that to be a true citizen you had to work a couple years on the farm after you got a certain level of education. Mm-hmm. So when he opened up colleges back, everyone from 90 years old to 10 years old was fighting to get into school. And I think this was around the 60s, 70s. Mm-hmm. So now the perspective on education for them is not a matter of like, just being able to read and write. It's a wealth disparity. It's a separation of working class to the affluent. And it's the same thing in West Africa. Because even now, many West Africans send money back home, not just for their family to eat, but to pay school fees.
Yeah, we're like, I think Africans in West Africa, as like even Jamaicans, no matter what, we're always like go to school. But I feel like West Africans have school on a different, like, I think for like in Jamaica, you can do other stuff. Like, we're going to make sure that the kids go to school and things like that. We're strict with it. But from my experience with meeting West Africans, they all got like 2-3 degrees, and it's like Nigerians, Ghanaians, Liberians. I feel like it's like you guys, school is the end all be all.
It is.
Like I saw the video of the Nigerian guy who played for the Seahawks, and I saw his mother saying like, "I'm at Super Bowl. I
don't know what this is, but I just come. People like it."
Yeah, she was like, "Yo, I just need him to finish his degree." Yeah. That's all.
I ran track in college, and the funny thing is, when I was in high school, when I started running track, I was winning a lot, and I was, I even had a year I was almost like undefeated in that sense. And my parents came to 2 track meets my entire career, college and high school. And when my father came to my track meet in high school, I was a junior. Like already, every single state championship, I'm top 3.
Yeah.
And he was like, he saw me run a race, and I almost lapped the other people. And he was like, "Wow, but my man, I didn't know he was so good." I'm like, I'm coming home every day telling you I county champion,
They don't care.
They don't care. Like all he cared about was whether I got a degree and I got into school. And I remember I got a interest letter from Harvard to run track for them. Mm-hmm. And my dad took me to a private dinner, one-on-one. And put the letter right on the table. He said, "My son, you're going to Harvard." And I was like, "Dad, I'm not
going to Harvard.
I'm not." I don't even think they truly even give real scholarships. I was trying to explain to him, but he didn't care. He was like, "We're going wherever is the best school." But for me, I wanted to go wherever I like the coach the most, and I like the system. But not even just the sports. For me, track was like an escape from, everything else I was dealing with financially and all these other things. So I wanted to be in, and also track gave me a lot of self-confidence. And my coach in high school, she was one of the people that implanted a lot of self-confidence in myself. So I wanted a coach who had that relaxed approach and just fed the monster that I was, to succeed. Didn't push me too hard, just like, try to keep me calm. Shout out to Mark Elliott.
Yeah. Exactly. Good track coach though. Good track coach. You see, the thing is, so like for me, I got my self-confidence from track, but also the school that I went to. So like Kingston College gives you unwavering delusional confidence, and you need that, and we are seeing the remnants of that in today, where we meet some men and we are like, yo, do this or take a risk at this, and I realize that they don't, like, they're timid, and I always put guys that did track, like if you did track and like have a decent background in academics, you're probably going to be successful.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the confidence and the fear that the fear, and I always tell people, I don't care what nobody does. Nothing in my life has been more nerve-wracking than on your marks, set, go. That shit to me is the scariest thing. I know I do for a living. I go in front of thousands of people and talk for an hour.
Yeah.
To make them laugh. Now, to me, that's not hard, because I remember on your mark, set, go.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy that you even just saying that, because one, Calabar and Kingston College, it brings flashbacks to me, because every time I had to see them at Championship of America, at Penn Relays, I hated y'all.
I know. Yeah.
I hated y'all, man. I hated y'all, because I'm like, these guys, they look like they're all 25 years old. They're running against us in high school. But
you know, that's the same thing we would say about you guys.
For real?
Yeah, you guys look old as hell.
Shoot, them Jamaican high school track runners, they were built different. But track itself, it is something, like you're saying, it gives you, man. I think it's more so the inner battles you have to go through
to prepare
for
seconds.
And like even that being said too, I still use a trick from track and field where like I count time to slow time down, because whenever you keep track of time in seconds, you try it yourself. You have something to do or whatever it is, just count the seconds, and you have so much more time than you think
when you count the seconds.
When you count the seconds.
You're right. I'm gonna do that.
So much more time, and especially I ran the 800, and the 800. I mean, it's 2 minutes, but I'm telling you, it was a lifetime. I could see every piece of grass. I could see, I can remember where everyone was sitting in the bleachers. Yeah. I can hear everyone. It puts you in this extreme sense of flow and sensibility. And after beating yourself up mentally all through practice and things of that nature, you would think it will make it even better when the race starts. It don't. Mentally, I mean, it does make you stronger in the sense that you can finish it, but mentally, you're still in the same place of like, it's just you when you're out there, even if you're racing other people.
To God.
It's just you.
I tell people what I got from track and field was track and field taught me how to lose and continue.
Yes.
Like track and field taught me that no matter how hard you work, you need to just understand that your best might not be better than everybody's best.
Oh yeah.
It's the person that keeps going.
Yeah, and in some days practicing, you're gonna have a horrible day. But that one bad practice day, it doesn't mean everything. And that one loss, because you'll start a season off and you're not as fast, you're not as strong yet as you're gonna be at the end of the season.
Or it might be, or you might just be running the whole season and it's just not your season. I've seen that before. Or you can just be that guy that you just run a good program, and on track meet weekend, you're trash. Man, I've seen every.
I had that experience in college, man, because I went to college and I'm like, I thought I was the shit until I got there, and I had a rude awakening. And man, I had a good couple of years in college where I was just performing in practice, but not performing at the track meet. But not like many people, I didn't quit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what track does. When you do track and field, out of every sport, I would have to say tracks is the most delusional sport, because it's the sport that the preparation is worse than the execution.
Absolutely.
So it's like when you imply that in life, to me, the struggle that I had to go through preparing for 48 seconds, 49 seconds, when I had to do 600s and friggin' 1200, 600s and 300s and 150s and all of that no, anything in life that I am doing, if the preparation doesn't feel like that, not in terms of physical exertion, but if the preparation is not like serious, I know that the ending is not going to be worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true. But you know, that's just a factor of life. You got to visualize. You have to see things in advance. You have to meditate, whether it's prayer, whether it's true just meditation. All the factors of life, I think you learn through that sport. But also, even in, I think that's a thing also that doing a sport that's really heavy on like your inner self, you start to be able to see the connection lines and everything outside of just your sport. Like even me with like software and things of that nature, it's interesting how like everything tells a bigger story, even down to the fact that really to even control or use a computer properly, you kind of need to know English. And not to segue.
All the time?
So we're in a weird way, like coding and software languages is like a spider web in a sense, right? Because if you build the process, or if you build the computer program that is the, you know, is the blank piece of paper that other people use to write code and to develop things, in a sense, they have to acclimate to your culture. They have to acclimate to your language in order to even grow, which is why like right now there's like this huge AI war, one for energy and resources, but on the other end for who's going to be the mother base for AI, who's going to be the center in a sense, because America is really afraid of China being the one that controls that space and sector, because we are the home of the computer in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I read an interesting book that spoke about, you know, this exact fact, and I believe it was the forecasting the next 100 years. And two things that the book pointed out, which it still aligns to what we're speaking about, but primarily it talks about the fact that because the U.S. created the computer in a sense, other countries, like it's basically it's one of our biggest staples to drawing people in, just like our movie industry and things of that nature.
Entertainment,
is intangible.
Cars like Henry Ford,
yeah,
oil, a lot of the stuff that drives the world today. I'd say U.S. is probably one of the first movers.
But we were brilliant on the sense, or I would say we, because you know, if you live in this country, which I think that's something we're having some interesting debates about, because this country was built by immigrants.
Yeah.
But if you live in this country and you help this country, you're an American.
Yeah. If you live here, you pay taxes here, you add to this economy, you have family here, at some point, if you try to not say we, I don't think it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sort of sense at all. You know, regardless of how you came to this country,
or how you feel,
regardless of how you feel, the fact that it is a melting pot and the fact that the culture is so diverse is contagious. But on the fact of computers, the writer of the book was talking about how on multiple facets, like a country's original doctrine and original philosophy tells you a lot about them. And the U.S. original doctrine, or most read book and original doctrine, most read book is the Bible. And then our original doctrine and philosophy comes from Socrates.
Yeah.
And I talk about this to people sometimes about the fact that Socratic thinking and Socrates' way of looking at things was you break things down into units. So if you wanted to tell me that if I wanted you to get to the point where you really understood, let's say, I don't know, since we said the Bible, God, right? I'll keep asking you questions until you get to the point where you define God. And based off of that definition, then God is a thing. And that being said, it translates into everything, even computers, in the sense that in Western philosophy, if you want to have a purpose, if you want something to exist, it has to have a unit. It has to have a definition. I mean, we don't need to define a butterfly to know what a butterfly is. We don't need to define a bird to understand what a bird is, but we put labels on things so we can control it. And in the same sense, that philosophy translates into the code in the computer, in a sense, because computers run off of zeros and ones. And all the zeros and ones do is just define what a word is, what a gesture is, and all these sort of things. And that mentality translates into capitalism, because in the US and in the Western world, if something isn't defined, if something isn't unitized, if something doesn't grant you a sort of, or it doesn't have a purpose that we can point to, it's not useful. And the computer perpetuates that on a global level, because you can't create nothing without literally defining it through computer language. And that even translates to it even translates to how we view other people and view other things. That's why Eastern philosophy, that has a lot to do with existentialism and the appreciation of the absency of something, the matter that is not just obvious. We can't grasp that as hard enough. And it actually all culminates on a deeper level to the stock market.
And it's funny, that's what I was going to ask you, because with the knowledge that you have in software engineering, and you mentioned, zeros and ones, the other day, me and Crooks, who's not here today, me and Crooks was mentioning, we were having a conversation about stocks, right? And here's my philosophy. My philosophy as a Jamaican, grew up in the inner city. I at the time, how I treat the stock market, I have a background in gambling. And I would consider, I would say a lot of the times, trading stocks every day, I would say it's gambling. And it would be like risky for me to trade every day, because I would turn that into gambling. And with what is going on in the economy right now, like what you said, we talked about immigration. That affects the stock market. Computer language, that affects the stock market.
What people value. The definitions. So if everything affects the stock market, how does one really develop a true understanding of how and what it is? Because to me, it's just numbers going up and down. It's like, you're telling me that if I put $10 into something, if a stock is worth $10, throughout the day, that stock might worth $6. And next hour, it's worth $7. What's the difference between that and the Bitcoin that I see going up and down every day? And so it's like, it's hard to understand. So how would you simplify somebody that is, one, thinking about investing in the stock market? Do you invest in the stock market? And what would be your simplest definition of what all of that encompass? Well, I mean, the first thing you need to look at, and I know I spoke a lot on just the philosophy of the West, but the stock market, in my opinion, is the culmination of humans' opinions and value on things. And that being said, a stock itself is just a piece of ownership in a company, which is why it's even called a share, because we're all sharing a part of this company. And that being said, the stock market is a way for an individual who doesn't own a company themselves to have a piece of interest in thousands of companies moving around, and also a piece of interest in just the shifts of human interest.
All right, one question. Where does this, say for instance, Apple, does Apple have an account? And when I purchase a stock, the money goes to that account for Apple to spend it? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when we all put this money in of the stock, where does that money go? Can they reach out, and does Apple wake up in the morning and check an account? And the account is, this is everybody that owns a piece of this company. Like that's always what is like confusing to me. So like when I put this money in there, where is it? Where is it staying? Where is it keeping? You know?
In a way, yeah and no. Because there's a difference between a private company and a public company.
Yeah.
So if it was a private company, yes, all the money that's invested in your company, you see it. But a public company goes through a process in which they go through like an investment bank, and then they pick specifically where in the market, whether it's the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ that your stock will sit in. And once it goes public, the owners, right? If you and I owned a company in 50-50, if we owned 50% of this company, we would then break up our 50% interest each into millions, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time, they'll keep a good amount of it. Matter of fact, most people who actually that I have met who are real businessmen and are wealthy have this perspective that, you know, it's better to have 10% of $1 billion than to have 100% of $1 million. And that's the same perspective, because they'll give up a majority of their like ownership in this company. But, you know, when it comes down to stock, owning 25% of a stock you're a major investor. And all of these shares are then held separately. But the individuals who own the shares, you have a say. But generally, there's a board of the major investors that make the decisions for the company. That's why if you go public, you no longer truly like own that company. It's the shareholders. And if the shareholders feel as if this CEO is effing up, you lost your job. You no longer your boss is the public.
Yeah.
Your boss is whoever is truly investing their money in this.
But it has to be a majority situation.
Yeah,
So
you have to have the majority have a real say so.
Yeah, to have like, so say for instance, a person owns Apple, you start getting say so at like what, 5%?
It depends on what the major shareholders have, but 5% is a good amount.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
5%
an amazing
is
amount.
Like, nah, you big dog.
You're a big dog. Like
Rich,
5%, you're rich. Like you are rich.
You wealthy.
Think about the people who had, you know, there's some people that worked at Google that had like 1% of Google's shares, and right now 1% of Google shares.
That's trillionaires.
You're making probably a couple $100 million.
Oh, 5% probably too much then, because Google is $1 trillion company. So if you have 5%, no, you don't. That's 500 billion. I think
there are funds which there are companies that their entire job is to buy pieces of other companies, and they put it together, and then they share stocks in their own company, which is like a safeguard. You know, that's how we even get what's called ETFs, and like Vanguard, for instance. Vanguard has an ETF. There's ETF for, you know, called SPY, and that encompasses, you know, thousands of companies. And that being said, a lot of people who do have 401ks and things of that nature, it's built up of, some individual stocks, but a lot of times it's ETFs, which are just baskets of different stocks. And you have people who literally just trade and decide which things are going to be profitable in a certain sector, you know, because there's ETFs for technology. And that's the easiest thing I tell people, if you're interested in starting off as investing, look around your own life and see what you're actually interested in, like what you care about. If you care about electric cars, there's an ETF for that. If you care about technology, there's an ETF for that. If you care about oil, there's an ETF for that. If you care about defense.
So say for instance, like say me, I do social media. I buy a lot of technology and stuff like that. What the ETF for that would be like what? NASDAQ?
Shoot, I don't even know. Actually, that's not a sector I'll look at, but I'll Google it right now. It's that simple.
Yeah, because basically, if social media, that would encompass, for me, let me see. I have a lot of Apple products. Is Sony a public stock?
Yes.
Yeah, so like Apple, Sony, you give me an idea. Apple, Sony, Microsoft, probably a couple TV. I don't know.
Speak about Sony, right? When the PS5 came out, right? This is a little play I did.
Yeah.
I was looking on Twitter and seeing how all the celebrities were gifting each other PlayStations instead of the Xbox. And I thought to myself, oh, this is a play. Primarily because they didn't come out yet fully, but everyone's getting it pre before the market and things of that nature.
Yeah, it was way
into their friends. That means Sony is beating Microsoft, or at least Sony's going up because of that, because they own it. And also, the ticker for social media is SOCL. So there is an ETF for social media.
See, I didn't know that.
And even like what I work in right now, the major big dogs when it comes to like this software stuff and is Amazon and Microsoft. Because Amazon, people don't even know, Amazon is a brilliant company, because companies that understand that you have to own things that other companies need, when you want to be the supplier for other companies, or you want to be the marketplace for other companies, you make far more money than if you're a marketplace for people. And Amazon makes
servers, right?
Servers.
Yeah.
When they made the Amazon Web Service, which houses servers and different sort of applications and software, like you can go through AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and if you wanted to basically have an application that basically reads the temperature of people's comments, they have that in AWS. Like literally, they have different sort of databases, there's different databases for warehousing, for transactional databases, which is SQL Server, and all these different databases are extremely important. Even like Oracle is another company that's big when it comes to this database stuff, because like I said, there's no paper is obsolete. Like it's databases now, is data and computers in computers. Like my work computer over there, when I'm working in a company and things of that nature, I will build a server and put a computer on that server. So all I have to do is just VPN. I use my VPN, and I have to log into this server. And now it's a whole different computer in the computer with its own storage, with its own information, with its own files that I can access from any computer anywhere in the world. I don't even need my own computer. It doesn't even affect the storage on my computer. It's in the cloud. And Amazon and Microsoft, Amazon has AWS, Microsoft has Azure. Me, when I'm over here looking for, new jobs or companies to work for, it's so imperative to know which one of the two they really mess with and they work with. Because right now, I'm looking on the market, everyone's using Azure. And Azure is Microsoft's server. So right now, Microsoft is probably whooping Amazon. Because everywhere I look, they're using Microsoft stuff. But also Microsoft, because Microsoft started off early and started building computers, and Microsoft builds computer and builds actual physical hardware and stuff, they give deals in a sense where if you use Microsoft computers, you use so-and-so, then you get a discount.
So that is why when I go to majority of big companies, even if somebody works at like the bank, or they tell me that they do anything in like finance, it's very rare that I see them with Apple computers.
Yeah.
It's always like Lenovo, HP, Microsoft. Like it's very rare when I go into like techie places. But for like, I'd say editing or stuff like that, I think it's predominantly like Apple. Like new school is Apple. And I think, but anything like stocks and nerds, I call him nerd.
No, nerd is a compliment to me. Growing up, it was different. But now, everything that was nerdy growing up, everyone loves. Like the fact that we got Megan Thee Stallion, we got everyone here faking like they really love anime. It's funny to me because I used to watch anime and I was getting chased down.
Brother, I hate
because
anime.
Of Naruto.
You come with this anime thing. Yo, let me tell you something. I, Dale Elliott, despise anime.
Why?
I don't like it.
What?
I think it's just too much. It's too much. See, like what he said, it's too much information, man. It's too much information.
Shout out to the Asian community.
Shout out to the animes.
And shout out to the anime community. But, you know, the thing about anime that is, what's it called? The thing about anime that's beautiful. Keep running. The thing about anime that's beautiful is the fact that it's stories about life. You know, I really think anime was really created to educate people in a wholesome way on like personal endurance and just stories about greatness in a sense. Naruto, shout out to the Naruto community, but that's a story about perseverance. Matter of fact, growing up, I aligned more with Naruto than anything else I saw. Because this is an individual that grew up an orphan. He didn't have nothing.
Yeah, but what about like Dragon Ball Z? That's kind of like
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, my anime journey stopped at Dragon Ball Z and Naruto.
That's all you need is Naruto, in my opinion.
That was it. But let's not get sidetracked, because people been really asking me about like the stock stuff.
Yeah.
When someone says ETF, for instance, one, I used to always hear people say, they'll check the stock market, invest in the stock market. And then my first time I went on the stock market and I was like, okay, everybody's always saying trade ETFs, save money. And then I went and I typed S&P 500 and I saw nothing. And you're like telling me, so like the ticker. So that is when I realized that I now have to start typing like QQQ and the VOO and the SPYs and the VTI and that's the actual ETFs.
Yes. If ever you are, in the website I use religiously for looking at stocks and things of that nature, or discovering what's even in those ETFs, is called Koifin. And in no way are they even funding anything or whatever it is. This is just a shout out because they're good at what they do. But Koifin has all these different charts and things of that nature that you can look at a certain industry, and everything's really broken down into industries, domestic goods, health, defense, things of that nature. And these ETFs, like I said, they're just baskets of different stocks that focus on a certain industry and things of that nature. Because SPY and QQQ are ETFs for, like NASDAQ and things of that nature. And even just like the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, they're different. They're marketplaces in the marketplace, and they hold different stocks. Like the NASDAQ has Apple. I believe they have Exxon. They have a lot of big companies, but with each one of these groups, they have companies that move, their entire market based off of how big they are.
Yeah.
And granted, I went to school for economics, but in no way do I think I'm a stock professional.
That's what I tell people all the time. But the thing is, there's so much information out there, and when you have a platform, it's better to. I'm not spreading misinformation, but I like when people understand the mind frame that I am in, and we are trying to seek knowledge. And the beauty is, whatever we say here, it might enlighten somebody out there to think about stocks. Like, oh, where would I find this stock? So it's just to let people understand that, I think the age that we're at right now as millennials, we're going into another quarter in our life right now. We're going into the 30 branch. And I think, why not think like this right now? Like, we have to.
Out of everything that you can get or you can put your money in, real estate and stocks are the two areas that everybody that's wealthy puts their money. And a major factor of why I even like trading stocks, or really I don't even trade too much, I buy and hold, is because, one, the stock market, I believe it averages 14% appreciation yearly, historically. you just put your money there, whatever it is, 14% interest, which beats any sort of high yield savings account you can have. And on top of that, if you have $20,000 in stocks, a lot of people think or are afraid, because the delusion of, stock market goes up and down, but the stock market, like I'm saying, is a factor of one, living companies, living people. And that being said, everything trends. So yes, it will go up and down, but like your own life, your life is either trending up or it's trending down, and different, depending on what scale you look at it from, a 30-year span, look at all your decisions and things of that nature. And there's ups and downs over 30 years. How well did you do? If you're spiking up, you're going up. It's the same thing as a company or as a business. And more of the story is, if you have $20,000 in the stock market, you can get a loan on those $20,000 worth of stock, and you still own your stocks. Matter of fact, you can pull out $5,000 and not have to sell your stocks. Just get a loan from whatever brokerage you have, and they'll just put the loan on your stocks. Matter of fact, you can go, if you wanted to buy a business and get an SBA loan, they can use your stocks as collateral. People don't even understand that sometimes. Like, your stocks in your home, in the same sense, a bank can hold that for credit and use it as a sense of how wealthy you are, which is why most people who are really, really, really rich, they put a lot of their money into stocks that, one, give dividends, and dividends.
That's like Schwab's. Charles
Schwab's, one that everyone really knows, like Walmart. Walmart has a dividend stock. Good dividend. So if for dividend stocks, if you own, it doesn't really matter if you own a certain amount, but if you own stocks in that company, every quarter or whatnot, they dish you out a percentage of their earnings. So think about it in this sense. If you had $10 million and all your money was in a dividend stock, you're getting, let's say if you even just get 2% of interest, 2% of $10 million.
That's like 400,000.
It's 200,000. It's $20,000, and
$20,000.
Yeah, it'll be
terrible, guys. Don't worry.
It'll be wait, did I say 2 million or 20 million?
You said 2%. If you have 20 million in Walmart.
20 million in Walmart.
And 2% payout. Isn't that like 1% of 20 million is probably
10,000.
10,000?
10,000, yeah, because 10,000 times 100 is a million. Yeah, so yeah, it will be $20,000 you're getting dished out
every quarter.
And like, if you think about that on a larger scale too, you're getting dished out that money. And then on top of that, if you need to buy something, you take a little loan off your stocks. And then if that company appreciates as well, shoot, it might even wipe out the money.
It might wipe out the debt.
The debt that you even have. You don't owe anything. Most wealthy people, they put all their money into stocks. And if you have $20 million in the stock market and it's appreciating 14% every single year, I mean, literally, you may not even have to work again. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends. Because, imagine a guy if you only trade ETFs right now, and you have, because we got to start with, like, say somebody has like $10,000 right now.
Yeah.
If you put that $10,000 in just safe ETFs, Vanguard, S&P 500, NASDAQ, maybe you split that evenly across all of them. Within like 2 years, that 10 grand might be like 13, 14,000.
Yeah. Literally.
No bank is giving you that interest.
No, not at all. And no bank, no bank will, or it's one of the only commodities that you can have outside of real estate that you can pull money out in that sense and still own it. Because with real estate you can refinance, or you can get a loan based off of your property, but you still own the property. And if something goes left, they'll just come for the property. You don't owe nothing. But that being, it also depends on how much you owe. But yeah, man, people don't look at it the right way. And as for me, before I even moved out here to LA, I was putting $1,000 every single month into stocks. And after a year and a half, which let's say that's 15 months, $1,000 every time, I had upwards of 25 grand, you know, and I used most of that money to get myself settled out here, you know, just taking loans off of my stocks. You know, a lot of people talk about day trading, but that's not where the real play is.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
No, it's the day trading and options and even futures are just, in my opinion, they're really that's the gambling aspect of it. But the aspect of stocks that's really important is like you are really owning a piece of a company, like you are owning an asset. It is an asset, you know, like you're owning a percentage of a house. You know, if you put it in that way, it's probably easier for people to understand. But you look out here and you see 50 houses in this neighborhood, and you own 5% of each of these houses, and the whole neighborhood goes up because a Sprouts comes in the neighborhood. Man, you're eating.
Yeah,
You're up.
Yeah. I was watching this thing with Warren Buffett, and he was saying just what you said earlier about the two best things to own is real estate and stocks. And he mentioned that he leans more towards stocks. He says his portfolio has real estate and stocks, but he leans a lot more towards stocks based off the returns over a period of time, because with real estate, the realized returns is only there when you spend it, or if you're taking a loan from it. And he's like, with a stock, there is not necessarily a barrier to entry. He's like, with real estate, say I come in and I want to buy this property, or when I was leasing this studio, I wanted to know, how's the piping? How's this? Like, I want to know everything. And it takes time, and one wrong answer change everything. As where I could know that, for instance, I know every September Apple releases an iPhone.
Yeah.
Which means every September the stock is probably going to go up.
Yeah.
So just invest that.
See, I mean, Apple is not a company I would, or not to say it that way. I wouldn't invest in them too much, but I think it's because they're oversaturated. But that's one thing about the stock market that is cool too, though, is the company doesn't even really need to be as successful. If people's opinion of the company is high,
like GameStop.
Exactly. If people's opinion of this company is high, the value of the company goes up. And that being said, we actually live in a time period in a world right now where a lot of the major companies, you know, they're getting valuations for hundreds of years in the future, especially with AI, which is why AI, you know, a lot of people talk about AI as like a bubble, because
there are a bunch of companies investing in each other.
Not only that, but like NVIDIA in a sense, right? Or you can even look at NVIDIA. But
is that a stock that somebody can buy?
Yeah, you can buy stock in NVIDIA, but right now it's hella expensive. But that being said, it's still not as expensive as if you try to buy a part of the company.
Oh no, you'll never be able to do it.
Never
but
be able
you could buy some stock. One NVIDIA stock is how much? Comments. Hey, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, we need to know how much is an NVIDIA stock. Or like somebody comment of a list of like, this is perfect. Comment a list of your like 10 favorite stocks, so people in the comments know, like, if you're thinking to trade stocks. I know there will be a nerd here that wants to know. So comment like your best 10 stocks.
Shoot, I have a good amount that I even have on hand right now. I mean, before I even talk about, you know, some of the stocks that, you know, I'm into right now, I think people should be aware that stocks, because it's heavily affected by human opinion, also, yes, the financials of the companies and things of that nature, it also has a lot to do with what's going on in the world, you know, how it's affecting how it's affecting each country and things of that nature. And prime example, a couple years ago, like when I first got out of college, I had the sense to buy a lot of uranium stock, and one uranium stock that I held a lot of was UUU, and primarily because when everybody was looking at electric cars and the electric grid just like evolving,
Yeah.
people didn't take into account the fact that it's going to take time and it takes resources to do that. And to facilitate that, a lot of countries were putting more money into nuclear energy. And the main thing you need for nuclear energy is uranium. And just look how that goes, you know? And certain stocks even just offset.
I think that's in like Niger right now, right? There's a lot of uranium in Niger or Chad, one of them.
There's a lot, Niger, Chad, I mean, a lot. There's a lot of cobalt and things of that nature in like Congo and West Africa. But when you look at things that you use, you should also really think about what is required to create it and what goes into it. But yeah, I put money into uranium, and that made me a good amount of money. And that being said, you know, you just look around at the big boys and what's really happening. Like, I mean, on my list is NVDA, Amazon, Dell, GLD, TLT, Uber, Tesla. And Tesla is one company that you know, I think you should be long on, primarily because Tesla's not just a car company.
How much money is a Tesla stock right now? 900 or something? No, there was 6 something the last time.
Let me see.
Last time I looked at a Tesla stock, it was like 600 and something per stock.
But they've had stock splits. Which is, you know, they break everyone's stock up in the same sense. When you go private or public, they break them up. So if you have, you know, 4 stocks, it'll be 8. But right now Tesla is 417.
I remember when that was at like 600 and something.
I remember when it was at 2. I was trading Tesla heavy when it was like $200, and then there's a stock split and things of that nature, and that made me more money. Mm-hmm. But that being
said, Nvidia did that as well. Isn't Tesla going to do that again soon?
Yes, but that's when you get so big, and you want to give access to more investors. That's how they do it. They do a stock split, and it's funny because like you make money too being a stock owner of a company when they do a split, because like you'll go from 4 stocks to 8, and then it's now $200 instead of $400, and then watch it go right up to $400 again. Mm-hmm. And now you got double your money. And Tesla, especially when SpaceX comes out, that's going to be huge. Primarily because Tesla and SpaceX are housed under Elon Musk and the Boring Company, which builds bridges and things of that nature. They're actually, I believe, building a bridge, in the North Pole connecting Russia and Alaska.
Crazy.
Which, that being said, SpaceX did something so amazing in the last couple years, where they created rockets that can go to space and come back. And that's never been the case. Usually when a rocket goes to space, it loses parts. Mm-hmm. But now we have these rocket ships that can go up and come down. And me being the person that's forward thinking, I'm like, this is the beginning of
space
travel and space exploration on a higher level. Space tourism, actually, which is where we're going. You know, people are going to want to tour space. But the bigger thing that I look at right now, especially with this war on energy and gasoline war, America having a company that is so far ahead in regards to rockets makes us the next leader when it comes to setting up an energy grid in space. Because right now, America has probably one of the largest reserves when it comes to natural gas, which is not just petroleum. Natural gas is faster, it's easier to transport. You can just ship it through pipes. It affects everything. And right now, everyone thought that we're going to go into an era where we're going to be focused so heavily on electric cars and things of that nature. But since AI came into the picture, the race for the world is who can set up a better energy grid faster, because it requires so much energy to push and fund and to power AI. Like right now,
they're running out of data, like Chat GPT and stuff. They're running out of data.
Shoot, I mean it. I don't know if that's the case. I think more so it just requires so much energy to pull from so many data sources, and that's really what like AI does. It interacts with thousands of data sources and pieces of information, and it culminates it into an answer for you or a tool for you. But like right now, most of the things that are going on geopolitically have to do with oil and gas, because the race in the world right now is like we had the space race back during the Cold War and things of that nature.
Conspiracy. I think that was fake. I think the moon landing was fake.
Well, I mean, we haven't been back to the moon, so somebody explain that.
I definitely believe that was fake.
Especially in the time of technology we had back then, it's a little.
How did he got there? How was he bouncing around like that?
It's a little unlikely.
Who was there recording him while he landed? That's the crazy part. Like if you're the first person on the moon, who was recording you? Did they fly there and set it up for you to like? That don't make any sense to me. When Neil Armstrong. Defend yourself.
You got some answers. You got some answers to give us.
Who recorded you in 4K in 1960? What was it? During the Cold War.
It was the 60s. But one just a funny tidbit: the dog the Russians sent up there never came back. They sent a dog up there, sent a monkey up there, never came back. That being said, so tell me how it happened. But yeah, man, space is the next frontier for energy, because solar power works, I think, like 20 times better in space.
I never knew that.
Yeah, man, that's really what we are setting up for.
So how would they get the energy from space?
Satellites. They'll send a satellite up there, and the satellite
will transmit the energy.
We'll have solar panels
and send it back.
I don't really know how it's coming back.
It sounds crazy.
But that being said, that's the next frontier, setting up an energy grid in space. And I mean,
so do you think, for instance, like we're so heavily dependent on oil right now? Because I remember we were speaking and I told you that oil has been the dominant player in the world's energy for only like 100 years now.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit over. But before, there was steel, there was coal. It normally lasts for like 200-300 years. So don't you think it's like super early? Because I think oil will remain the top dog for a couple more years. I'd say at least another lifetime.
Yeah, and that's even oil itself is the fossil fuels is a conspiracy in its own sense, because like the major energy companies and oil companies, they created the term fossil fuels. They hired scientists to define it that way to make it sound scarce, but there's so much of it.
Yeah,
there's so much of it.
I don't believe that we'll ever run out of oil. I don't believe that.
No, it's a natural occurring substance. But that being said, I don't know. I think we will be using oil for a long time, and probably until we get the infrastructure to really do this electric game. But even electric cars and batteries that they use, things of that nature, they use minerals too, cobalt and things of that nature, which are a lot of times more harmful. And on top of that,
they say uranium is way more harmful than crude oil.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But that's what they use for nuclear stuff.
Yeah.
But cobalt too, and it's just dangerous on the people who are mining it. There's
I
children.
see the pictures from like West Africa, like the people.
Isn't cobalt? I think Congo has like a lot of those cobalt mines, and it's horrible for the people who are mining the stuff. Plus, electric cars are so heavy that even out here in California, we saw with the fact that we were pushing electric cars, which was one of the main reasons why we stopped. It was effing up the roads and infrastructures. Yeah. Electric cars weigh way more than regular cars.
They weigh more?
They weigh more.
A Tesla is heavier than a Corolla?
Yeah.
But they look, when I'm driving a Tesla, it feels so like woo, woo, woo. Unless it's like the big ones.
It's because the base of those electric cars are like just heavy batteries.
It's one big battery. I know that.
The base of them are so heavy. I mean, matter of fact, I'll give you a good stat on the weight of it.
I thought that they were like a little bit lighter.
So electric cars are typically 30 to 50% heavier than a gas car.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. 30?
30 to 50%. And on average, I think it's way into the heavier side.
Bro, 30%. The older I get, so I used to look at percentages different. Now, like 2%, 3% to know what, like, remember what you said?
An increase of 30%? That's a lot. That is a lot.
So you telling me a G-Wagon might weigh the same as a Model Y? A Model X?
Oh, no. A Model X is probably twice the weight of a G-Wagon. And also
a Model X, the ones with the doors that come up, right?
Yeah. But
it don't look heavier than a G-Wagon at all.
Oh, it is. And also, I mean, there's, you get a certain tax credit for having a car that weighs a certain amount, which is why so many, business people, not even just the Model X, the Model Y, so many of them will buy Model Ys. It's because of how heavy it is.
I'm talking the ones that look like an SUV that open up.
They're way, let me see. I'm going to tell you right now. I think they're way heavier than a G-Wagon.
Because a G-Wagon is heavy. A G-Wagon is 5 or 6,000 pounds.
Model X. So, a Mercedes G-Wagon is approximately like 6,000 pounds. A typical Model X. Oh, they're about the. Yeah, they're about the same.
They're about the same, but they don't look the same at all.
No, they do not.
They don't. So that means all of that weight is really under the car, like what you were saying.
Mm-hmm. It's all underneath the car.
But funny you mentioned taxes. Stocks. I think when you buy stocks, you don't pay taxes until you
sell them.
Until you sell them.
Yeah, it's a safe haven for tax too. But if you're day trading, if you're trading, then you're dealing with the taxes on those profits. But generally, you can put money into your stocks, and if you're taking a loan out on your stocks, I mean, that's a whole different tax bracket that you don't have to worry about.
Because you can literally go into whatever bank you have, and you're like, this is my brokerage account. In my account right now, I have what, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and I would like to take a loan for that amount, and they'll just, you might get it more than if you have the hard cash in a checking account.
Yeah. And my thing is crazy because like assets, man, it's the name of the game. And even just me, I'm working on just improving on having more assets. But like this country is really built for people who have assets and people who own. Matter of fact, y'all go look it up. You actually, when this country was created, they really didn't even want people who didn't own anything to be able to vote. Literally. They didn't want a person who wasn't an owner of something to be able to vote. Mm-hmm. And now that mentality translates into everything else. Every one of the tax loopholes and things that exist are for the people that own. Matter of fact, it's funny because people wonder why like wealthy people buy yachts and things of that nature. But you can write off so much money with a yacht because people just assume it's expensive to maintain. So that's a lot of depreciation you're doing. Matter of fact, even just recently,
and it's super expensive to maintain too.
It is. Like I got a house, and that house itself, I came to find out something called a cost segregation study, and you can literally every single home, especially if it's used for rental purposes, it goes through depreciation over the years. And you can get a $500,000 house, do a cost segregation study on that house, and they'll give you $150,000 back in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And for an individual who's making a good amount of money, or things that, or if you have taxes that you need to pay, or if you're making a good amount of money, it's better if you paid a lot of taxes that year in general, because you'll get that money back in a refund check.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who've gotten $60,000 in a refund check, and even myself this year, I'm waiting to see what I get, but it should be substantial. But that being said, that is another area that people benefit from. Like, everyone's like, oh, the government really, doesn't tax the rich. I mean, everything is set up to help those who have money to make more money. Like, it's a self-perpetuating prophecy. The more money you have in this country, the more money you're making, especially if you own assets and things that make money just while you sleep.
You see the funny thing, so for me and my background, see, I want to make a lot of money, and
Same.
I am going to work tirelessly to get to the point where I can make a lot of money. And I always say to people that it's the knowledge of information is worth more than some of the time the actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say, we mention it on like a smaller scale of somebody that just does like, normal investing and taxes and stuff of that nature. For instance, when I was in Jamaica and I used to talk to my father used to always say to me like, yo, wait until it's tax time, I'll send you some money. Mm-hmm. And I used to always be like, oh, tax time is when America gives you money. So when I first came to America and it was coming tax time, and I was like, okay, everybody's like, oh, do your taxes. So no, me being naive, I'm like, okay, I made this here, and I got all the stuff together.
They coming for you.
So I got everything together and sent it to the tax person, and I'm like, how much money am I supposed to get? And I got an email, and the email was like, you owe 7,000. No, not owe. I saw 7,000 something. And I was like, yeah, so where do I put the account in, all right, to get my 7,000? And the tax person called me and she's like, oh, no, Dale, calm down. That's what you owe. So I said, what do you mean that's what I owe? She's like, yes, this is what you have to give to them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So immediately, so she was like, are you going to like, I need to submit this right now. And immediately I got her glasses, because I was like, okay then. I was like, hey, help me out. What do I need to do right here? And it turns out my situation was I had not all the deadlines, everything has passed for me to utilize anything from the tax code. So that year I had to do a payment plan. So my intro to America was actually a $7,000 tax debt.
Yeah.
And I had to do the payment plan. And the following year, reading up and stuff, I learned about IRA and understanding that as a self-employed person or a person that owns a business, we don't have the luxury of paying into a 401k or getting health insurance.
Or you have a W-2 that's already paying the taxes.
Exactly. I don't have that W-2. I don't have that employer that's paying for my health insurance and stuff like that. And realizing that, wait, I now have to extend myself and try to cover all of that. And then initially, so it's like health insurance in America is like expensive.
It is.
So that was like damn near $400 a month. So then I start realizing that, 400 times 12, 412s is, what's that, 60, 48? 48. That's $4,800 I'm going to minus from the tax bill that I owe these people. So instead of me owing that 7, I could have just paid my damn health insurance and be healthy. That's the crazy. Like I never thought about it that way. So it's like you're here and you're like, oh, yeah, you don't have health insurance, and you're like thinking that, this is normal, and it's expensive. until you realize that, oh, at the end of the year, you can't just say, hey, this is what I paid.
Yeah.
And you get it back. Or the gas. So a lot of people, go electric, save money, go electric. But you never know. You might go electric and know you only pay $15 every month or 2 months. When tax time come,
Depending on what city you live in, what country you live in.
depending on what city you're in. And well, we're speaking because, we live in America. So we kind of have to understand that I thought I was going to get money back. I never knew I was going to be in a situation where every year I was trying to figure out, because I don't do a 9 to 5. As a business owner, we have to scratch and crawl for everything.
Yeah.
For what to keep.
When the crazy thing is, I learned because it's me too, being immigrant, my family with, tax time, they get their tax refund. I learned when I went to college, I unlearned a lot of poverty mindset, and I unlearned a lot of things that I thought were normal. And come to find out, if you're getting a tax refund and it's not because you did a interesting tax play or whatever it is, it's because you overpaid in taxes. That's why you're getting a refund, because you paid them too much.
You pay too much money.
Yes, which generally, if that's the case, most of the time, no offense to anybody out there, but if you're getting $5,000, whatever it is, in tax refund, generally, it's really because you're not really making money. That's the truth of the matter is. If you're really making that paper, taxes, the IRS, they want you and they're going to get you. If you aren't smart enough to figure out what areas to put your money in, and that's high key why people love real estate, because there's so many loopholes or really one, if you put majority of your money into real estate, then you don't have to worry about paying taxes on that money for that real estate property until you sell or whatever taxes come with refinancing. But you even on that tidbit too, another way you even escape having to pay taxes on your real estate is it's an exchange. So you can
what do they call it? 139
it's like 101 exchange.
Yeah, so it's like you can buy, you sell a property and you get 90 days
to buy a bigger property or equal
value, and then you get to not pay no taxes on it.
Yeah. And like, man, the wealthy, they are smart, man. They have life insurances that they can pull money out of, that they're putting a lot of money into, which life insurance, it really is not a scam. There are people who make it feel like a scam, but if you have a life insurance policy that you are able to pull money out of, you can take loans on your own life.
Yeah, after it matures. So I think some of them do it like 30 years, but also because it's funny too, the money that we're putting into these companies for like insurance and stuff, where do you think their money is?
In insurance too.
Yeah, their money is in insurance,
which is also in insurance, and insurance,
or in a stock. So
everything's insured.
The money that we give banks, they're either giving it to other people or having it in the same stock markets that we're like. So it's like the play is really somebody, you need to put your money somewhere.
Yes. No, for real. You have to have your money constantly moving. And it's like, if you aren't doing that, then you really aren't insuring yourself. Like, this country is built on credit, but credit is only useful when you actually have resources. Because if you have $10,000 and you need $10,000 to make money, you can keep your $10,000, get a loan on your $10,000, do whatever you need to make that money, and then you make your money back and you pay them off, and now you have a free $10,000.
Yeah.
Or in general, I mean, one of as we were speaking about insurance, I at a point in time wanted to get into the diamond industry.
Yeah.
And I still probably will.
I think that's a bad idea, but I'm gonna tell you why.
It's dangerous.
No, not even for violence. I think what's going on right now with the lab grown diamonds and stuff like that, that's not a pressure. I wouldn't even consider it a precious metal. I think the fallacy of diamonds was created really to propose to women and stuff like that and show the clarity. But I wouldn't I would invest in diamonds with seeing what is happening right now with lab grown diamonds, I would invest in silver or gold.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even you brought that up, and that's just an amazing topic to even just bring up. But just like stocks indicate things about the world,
Yeah.
certain stocks that and futures that are focused on certain precious goods indicate a lot about what's going on in the world as well. Like whenever Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is going up, which is not a stock, but it's just it's just a signal in for other things.
The
but
value of the dollar.
the
is
value of
going
the
down.
dollar is going down. They move opposite. And in the same sense, whenever people start investing more into gold and into silver, that means that people also have a scarcity mindset on the value of the dollar. Wealthy people start to resort to physical and attainable
Something that they can touch and feel.
capital than cash.
Land and
Land, precious goods, and I mean other valuable things. If the stock market is not doing pretty well, the economy's not doing pretty well, you'll see gold starts going up. You know, silver as well is becoming more and more valuable. But silver also, I think silver is going to be more valuable as space exploration and space travel gets more.
yeah, I hear people keep saying that.
Because you people don't even know. Silver and gold, especially silver, it handles heat very well. So that being said,
They're
silver
like great conductors, I think.
and great conductors as well. And silver is used heavily when it comes to jets and space objects in general. So that being said, you know, as space exploration grows, silver will be used even more. And in my opinion, I mean, I even like silver more. I wear majority silver. But that being said, the value of that's going up as well. There's indicators that show you what's going on. Matter of fact, it's so funny because it's like anything that starts to become scarce, you'll see will pop up on the stock market to the point that now they're even selling air on the stock market, water on the stock market. What does that say? Like it's becoming scarce.
Like something is happening.
Something's happening, and like even the example I use a lot of times, like if OnlyFans, everyone knows OnlyFans, but if OnlyFans was a publicly traded company, and I don't even know if it is publicly traded, but I will guarantee that OnlyFans would be more valuable than some of the things that we actually need in life. And reason being is because like the stock market shows you what people interest is in. Right now we're in a time period where, you know, sex and you know, fast thrills and things of that nature, people really value it. It's ridiculous that people can, and no offense to anyone making money through these industries, but it's ridiculous that people are making millions of dollars a year, and companies like or OnlyFans is probably more valuable than companies that make that purify water.
Yeah, but you gotta also understand where humans are. Sex is why we're here. Sex will forever be the most you see in the world, sex and water.
I mean, yeah.
I swear to God. Sex, water, food. And everything comes after those three. Sex, water, food. We need sex to be here. We're here as a result of sex. We drink water, we eat food to have sex.
Men do everything in order for the thought of sex.
I am
Not me though.
I work hard every day. I work hard everywhere, career-wise, everything. I'm like, okay, well,
That's a benefit.
some way it's leading to sex, okay? The harder I work here, the harder I try, is sex is a result. I will receive sex.
And you know, there's a funny statistic, right? Anywhere in the world where there's a higher population of men than women, violence is always happening. Anytime there is a time period where more men are born on Earth than women, there's more wars. And that's primarily because of sex as well. You know, when there is a scarcity of sex, sexual crime probably does increase as well, but crime in general increases because of the rise in testosterone.
Yep.
You know, And
But I think we're having an issue, right? I think the world right now, it's been a decrease in testosterone.
man, it has been a decrease in testosterone, but also I think that's because of the sexual marketplace, which is a whole nother subject in itself. Being that because sex has become so valuable, and not even physical sex, the thought of sex. You know, women are able to get on the internet and get validations from thousands of men that would never even
from places that they would have never even met.
never go. Matter of fact, I watched a documentary about the CIA, and one of the ways they were catching these guys in the Taliban, things of that nature, was making fake porn sites and having porn stars, have them subscribe. And
That's how they got El Mencho last week.
All the cartel bosses were caught meeting a woman. Every single one of them. Look at every single cartel boss has been caught meeting a woman. Even
Saddam.
Saddam Hussein, or no, it wasn't even Saddam.
He
Hussein.
was found in a house, like in the hole of a house, with I think his wives.
Yeah. Was it Saddam Hussein? What was the guy that did 9/11?
No. Bin Laden was caught with his wives in his house.
He had like 5 wives. You know what I'm saying? Like in this house, just stacked up with his kids in the
Pakistan.
House. You know, men for some reason, and that's in my opinion too.
Samson, anything. Achilles heel.
It's the Achilles heel of a lot of men, and if you really want to make it far and you really want to really ball in life, you have to practice or you have to, yes, you should find a great partner, but you should practice delayed gratification. And delayed gratification, especially in the sexual arena, primarily because it's like, one, you will never get the best quality of partner, the best quality of sex, the best quality of really anything until you're the best version of self.
You know, it's funny. I'm going to be honest with you. You are the first person in LA that has ever used the word delayed gratification to me.
Seriously?
Because I am one of those persons that I suffer from delayed gratification. And I would say to people, and I don't think they would kind of understand what that is. Like,
but it boils back to track.
Yes, bro. No matter what wins I have in life, no matter how somebody is like, yeah, you should be proud, you should be thankful. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna do this now. Or that's out of the way. Like, walk off the stage, everybody's like, great, how do you feel about it? When is the next thing?
Yeah. What does it lead to?
What does it lead to? And I think there's a research. I don't know if you know about the research where they studied it with children, where they had 3 kids, and they said to the children, I'm going to give you a cookie, and each day, like after one day, you get to eat the cookie after one day. So they gave 2 boys and a girl a cookie, and they said, all right, if you guys don't eat this today, you get the next one tomorrow. So the next day they come, the boys have 2 cookies, and the girl have everybody has 2 cookies. First time everybody has 2 cookies. So everybody now get 1. The following day now they come, the boys still have the 2 cookies, the girl eat the 2 cookies, so now she falls out. And then with the boys, they kept on having 1 and 1 and 1, because you know that, okay, then if I don't do it today, tomorrow I'm going to get 5 cookies. If I don't eat it today, tomorrow I'm going to get 6 cookies. And it kept on going, and the study basically showed that as children, humans, it shows who has like the longest like way to like delayed gratification, and it's also it's
an indicator of future success.
Yeah. It definitely tells like the person that's always looking for like that next thing, or trying to be better or do better, change themselves. You know?
Man, absolutely. Matter of fact, it's so true, because like even like where I am right now in my lifetime, and I give praise to, you know, God and a lot of people that helped me throughout the way. But like, there's nothing that I have in my life right now that isn't a factor of delayed gratification.
I swear to you.
Even right now, outside, you know, I got my BMW out there. I went 5 years without a car until I got the car I wanted.
Exactly.
You know, and like, no, seriously, like I went 5 years without a car, and knowing, you know, I'm making solid money and things of that nature, and girls and stuff probably don't think I make money. I'm not really doing my thing or what have you, but it's for something. Like, you know, like until I'm in a position where this car is not a burden on my life, I'm not gonna get the car. You know, until I'm in a position where like the money that I want is chump change, you know, I'm not gonna spend it. You know?
I know it's crazy. So for me, we have the same symptom, but I would get it. So that's just me. So like,
but you gotta give yourself some sort of, you know, reward.
No, I don't do it for the reward. That's the thing. I do it for
Affirmation.
No, so for my Benz. I got my Benz when I paid for my Benz. I used to drive around in LA. I used to drive around in LA, and I used to just go to car lots, and I used to just drive the cars.
I did that too.
I used to just call my girl, and I used to be like, "Hey," I just drive the cars. And one day I called my girl, and she's like, "Oh, you're test driving," and I said, "Yo, I get it." She's like, "But I know you, and you know you. I know you don't have the money to buy that." I had like $3,500 left in my name when I got my car. $3,500. And I remember I was driving home. I put $5,000 down. And at the time, the car was valued at like 80 grand. I put $5,000 down. $5,000 down. And I just remember driving home 2nd of June. Just pay my rent. So I'm like, yo, I have $3,500. And I have 1 month. At least I know I have next month rent. That's what I said. At least I know I have next month rent. And brother, at the time, let me show you like funny. The moment I got home, I opened up Instagram, and it was like, we're offering bonuses. $5,000 a month if you get 9 million views. I've never seen that. So I'm like, wait. You're going to give me $5,000 if I get 9 million views. Bro.
Instantly motivated.
Yo.
Instantly motivated.
Yo, I started making a bunch of videos and made that extra $5,000 and started to like, all right, I got the payment. Because when I got it, I think I never had to do it. I never had to make a car payment for like 3 months. But it was just the motivation of, all right, now you have it. And then the thing is, when you get it too, you also realize that what you thought it would have given you, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. Like,
it does give you something different though.
Gives you something different, but what you think, you're like, oh, I'm going to get, like, you have the car, and now you're like, yeah, wait until they see me in this. It does not work like that.
It really doesn't.
Because at the end of the day, we're sitting here talking. It don't matter what we drive. Like, when I see you, I don't see your car.
Yeah.
So if we meet up at a bar or wherever, your car is outside. Half the time you don't even drive, you Uber. Same thing with me. Like, when we went out the other day, I was like, yo, I'm not even trying to drive. And he was like, yo, all right, I'll scoop you up.
Yeah.
And then you came yesterday and you Ubered.
Yeah.
So it's clear we kind of don't really give a fuck.
No. But you know that their intentionality is so extremely important, because like there's nothing wrong with what you did. Mm-hmm. And a matter of fact, because I read a book called Game of Life, and one of the things the book actually talked about.
I read that book.
Well, then the book talks about like affirmation. And also, sometimes when times are rough, mm-hmm. you should do something for yourself that motivates you, or you should do something that's an affirmation of what you will become. So
Yep.
you're down on your luck, money's bad, you got $1,000 and there's that jacket that costs $200. Maybe you get that jacket. You get that jacket but
Because
with
it's gonna
the
make you
faith
work.
that that things will work out, and it's gonna make you work a little bit harder, to make sure things work out. Or it's the same thing that happens is when people have kids. Everyone knows that universal principle. I don't have any children.
Yeah. They
but-
say when you have children, you start working 10 times harder out of nowhere.
because it's like that mouth is never gonna be closed.
Yeah, they say. Yeah, they say things. They say when you have children, all of a sudden things just start happening.
Yeah, you gotta get up and move. But like intentionality, if you don't have a why for something, then you should really rethink it. You should really, really rethink it. And I mean, with people with this sort of mentality, I battle a lot with. I think all of us really do battle a lot with the balance of future thinking and
not
present thinking.
overextending.
Yeah, not overthinking or not overextending, and not living too much in the future, because it's like I've experienced a lot of wins in my life, and I'm telling you, I've probably felt 1% of them, like truly felt it, like, oh, this is great. 1% of them.
Me too.
And that's primarily because it's like, it's what's next and what's next. And granted, it helps you be successful, but you do have to, find enjoyment here and there. And
You do realize that's a correlation between the profession that we choose and life, right? Because when you're like self-employed, like if you don't work, you don't get paid. So you don't. I don't think so, unless it's a contract.
Mhm.
You're not guaranteed a salary at the end of every month, unless it's like something that, if it's a contract, it's different. So I think when especially for me, I tend to spend in hopes of making it back. And when I say that, I would spend on the stuff that's gonna make it back. So I'll be like, I do social media, so I'm gonna buy a camera, or I need to go to Miami and I need to do this while I'm in Miami because I might meet this person. I might find myself spending money on something that don't make money right now, but I'm thinking about the future.
Yeah, even the watch you get, it's funny because like human beings were community based, and there's communities based around every single thing. And prime example, like even now, I have some memberships to some membership clubs and things of that nature. And at first, when I got them, like certain people in my life were like, "Why would you spend that much money on a membership or what have you?" But
It's because you want to be in a certain community.
matter of fact, the only reason why I'm sitting down here, right here, talking to my friend,
Was because of Soho House.
literally is because of Soul House. It's
funny
because of
part.
Soul House. That's the hilarious part. But I already knew that going into it. That it's like I just want to be around other individuals that are trying to or that are high achievers. And that being said, being in that community, it feeds and breeds different perspectives and different thought patterns. Even I saw this guy on YouTube talking about the fact that if you have the money, buy yourself an older Porsche, because everybody that drives Porsches usually make money, and on top of that, they will feel akin to you. And now you have a mentor. Now you have a friend that can help you out. Now you have you have access to different rooms. And I say this in all honesty, and I tell my younger siblings the same thing. The only real point of college, it's not
the
the
network.
education, it's the network.
Yo, it's people. Finally. Jesus Christ. Yes. That's the only. I've done nothing with this degree.
Nothing at all. I mean, granted, it helped me. Matter of fact, truly, even my expansion of thought was just from meeting other people and finding out what their parents do, how their life is. Like, shoot, I thought it was normal to not have I didn't even have really my own real bedroom until I went to college. And then I'm in, 5-star hotels because of track, and I'm kicking with people who I had a teammate whose parents, and granted, you know who I'm talking about. If you ever see this, her parents will fly a private jet next to my school's private jet, and park, right next to the plane, and come out and hug their kid, like, oh, and she'll be so embarrassed. And I'm over here thinking to myself, you're embarrassed by this?
How are you embarrassed by this?
you're embarrassed by this? You know,
Yo,
like people live completely different lives, and that's one thing that it's like it motivates me even more because it's like I truly believe heaven and hell. Although I personally I don't know what happens after I die. Although I'm religious or what have you, I'm not foolish enough to think I know anything I have not truly seen or dealt with. But heaven and hell is also on this earth. And your worst nightmare and hell of a life someone's living right now, and your dream life is normal and boring to somebody else. Even in this city of LA.
Everything is a perspective. What you think, there is levels to other levels. And I think when you want more information and you want more for yourself, I've been preaching environments. Like I've been telling people, yo, if you feel bad, you feel like you need a change, your circle, super important. The 5 people that you associate yourself with every day and your environments. And if they're not around you, you go and find them. And this doesn't necessarily, people, when I say that, it don't mean you need to get the nice car or get the Rolex. You start with the things that you can control.
Exactly.
Instead of a graphic tee, try a polo.
No, for real.
Just try a polo. You don't need the $20,000 watch. Try a nice Casio.
Yeah.
And plain t-shirts. Instead of jeans, ripped jeans, pants. You know, instead of the sneakers, you know, wear Vans, something. But it's amazing the minute changes you make in your life leads to so much bigger things.
Yeah. And even prime example, right? We were talking about stocks, and we're also talking about this mentality on like the tangible world. And you'll be surprised, right? The same mentality that associates with understanding the value of stocks and buying things with the perspective of its future value is like when you have that mentality, it translates into every single thing you touch and buy. Wealthy people don't buy Rolexes because it's nice and it looks good and because it makes girls think you got money. It's because that one watch you got on, give it a couple years, is worth more money. That G-Wagon, the cars that don't appreciate or don't depreciate when it goes off the lot, they make more money because you can resell it. You buy a certain type of shoe, it can be resold for way more money. You buy a Birkin bag, the next couple of years is worth more money. You buy a Louis bag, it's worth more money. That's why things actually should and are expensive. It's because they will make you more money.
To me, this is how I look at everything. I don't look at values. So if, say for instance, if somebody sent me like a car, I don't look at value is only determined by the secondary market.
You think so?
If I go into a store, whatever the price is on that, that's their price. The value is determined by the secondary market.
That's true.
And how I look at stuff is, so for instance, watches. Not all watches get more expensive, you know, but at the same time, say there's a Patek Philippe Aquanaut. That watch is valued. You buy that, it's probably, say you buy that watch for like 80 grand, right? And you keep it for 10 years or even 5. If it doesn't appreciate, it goes down by like maybe 5 grand.
Which is not bad.
Which is not bad if you have it for 5 years. Now, go buy a car. Go buy an 80 grand car. And my car that I bought at 80 grand right now is worth like 40. And it's a 2020 car. And it's worth like 40 grand now. At the time, it was 80. So look at that depreciation that I can do nothing with. So when you see a guy...
You're really renting it.
You're really renting it.
Yeah, for that amount.
Exactly. So when a guy buys a watch, if a guy buys a watch for 20 grand and he falls on hard times and he sold it for 17, 16 grand, you lost 4 grand over 4 or 5 years. That's a depreciation of $1,000 a year. That's a great way to hold money.
Yeah.
Because if you have the money in your checking account, I think right now inflation is beating that.
Yeah. No, literally. Literally.
Like,
It's funny because like a person like myself, people will see me outside and things of that nature, and I love clothes, you know, and I love designer clothes. But y'all probably would not believe I have not bought clothes from the retail or the exact shop in years, man. I thrift everything. I get everything secondhand. And that's primarily because I don't believe in the facade of the value of certain things unless it's something that I know like will actually appreciate or will hold its value. I don't care for that because primarily, you know, if everything goes crappy and goes to shit, shoot, I sell my wardrobe, I make all the money back.
I grew out of it. To me, I don't put value in clothes anymore. To me, to sell clothes, I don't think it even helps me. To me, that
it really won't do anything.
Yeah. In terms of for an investment standpoint, I think I stopped looking at. I used to buy clothes for validation. This was a validation buy. I bought this for $900. I want it back. I need my $900 back right now. Okay. I realized that my valuation. I like watches, so I would spend money on watches. Cameras, equipments, anything that directly or indirectly puts me in a situation. I think after over a period of time developing, I realized as a guy, confidence screams if you, one, are healthy,
yes,
a good haircut, you dress properly, you smell good.
And
kind of no matter how expensive it kind of like, I don't think I'm turning no heads because of a jacket I'm wearing. It's because of how I look or how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think when we start attaching value to health, when we start attaching the value of ourselves and to how we feel with health, we start realizing. And the biggest eye opener I've ever had in my life was when I started to pay people for their services. When I started to hire people to do stuff for me, that's when I looked at money different. That's when I started to realize that I wasted a lot of money on clothes, but it was important for that time. Yeah. Like that time I needed it. But when I say, if you're telling me that I can have a situation where, say I want to have this place cleaned, I can pay somebody $15 an hour or $20 an hour. I can pay somebody right now $100 and they would come here and they would clean the shit out of this place for $100. Or I can pay somebody right now. I can pay an assistant, or I say I want to find somebody and I can say, yo, I'm paying you $700-800 a week, 5 days a week. That's a decent job, and I can have them. I can. That's now making my work easier. So you're telling me that if I can guarantee that I'm paying you $780 a week, you're gonna be here at 9 a.m. You're gonna say yes sir, no sir. You're gonna do what not what I tell you to do, but what's in the job description. Mm-hmm. The moment I realized that, wait, that's a salary, I looked at money way different when I started looking at it as a salary.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
No, it's crazy because even what you're saying here, like the moment I started making good money too, like it did not matter anymore what I was wearing. It really did not. Like I think everyone should have their little areas of what they find pleasure in, mm-hmm. and like my areas of pleasure really like is food. You know, I spend some good money on food, clothes, and that's primarily just like for myself. I just love clothes. Like I touch clothes and like I enjoy it.
You know what you love? You love boots.
I do love boots. I wear the crap out of boots.
Yeah, you be wearing every type of boot I've seen. Every time I see you, you're in a different boot. You like boots.
But that's functionality, because I'm just like, when I realize sneakers they wear so easily, I'm just like, you get yourself a good pair of boots, man. Those boots will last you 10 years. Sneakers won't do that. If you wear them every single day, I've had these Doc Martens since college, you know?
And they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Doc Marten. But, you know, like, I want things that last. And for me, food is a part of my health as well. And really, honestly, outside of food and clothing, it's really beautification of my life. And I thrive in beautiful spaces. I'm more creative. I'm more productive. If my place looks good, if it smells nice, if I hang out in spots that just, inspire me, if I'm in places that I see wealth and opulence, and that's why I even love LA.
Environments, and nothing motivates me more than so one of my closest friends, he's a producer. I just like to go to the studio when they're making music.
Oh, me too.
Bear in mind, I'm not trying to make music.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm in a space with people that are creative and their minds are working, and I'm seeing other people work. So when I'm leaving, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to work now.
Yeah.
I just feel like I like being around people that have a plan, or like, what are you gonna do? Or people that are not say you
stagnant.
If you say an idea to me today, you got 1 week to do that idea, or you're never gonna. Don't say it to me again.
No, I feel the same. Matter of fact, even right now, we talked about doing this last week.
Exactly.
And I was on your ass about it. I'm like, let's do it today.
First of all, you never on my ass. Sorry, Jamaica is a Yankee.
Oh, my bad.
He wasn't on my ass. He was. Hey, that never will never happen.
Yeah. I'm West African too. Yeah,
Pause.
For sure. But yeah, I that's one thing I really like, and I respect too. And I think, matter of fact, with people who are successful, you will notice that all of them have that same mentality. Like, if you say something to them, you better do it. And that ties into really, I think, the immigrant mentality, has some principles that I think just helps us improve. And that's one, we're always trying to make something out of something, trying to make a new life out of something. We're always trying to strive. We have the principles of keeping your word, and a lot of things being based on old school principles of honor, which is divulged from the world now. But those things are so important. Like, anyone I've ever dated or been with, they know how serious I am about when I say something. Don't come and say I lied about something, or it's serious to me.
Yeah, because I can't take it back.
Yeah.
Like, if I say it,
I got to do it. If I say it and I don't do it, I then feel less of myself.
Bro, and I start questioning myself.
Exactly.
But the thing is, if I say I'm going to do something to myself and it don't works out while me trying to do it, I don't feel as bad because I'm making the
that's
effort.
Okay.
But if I go to somebody, for instance, I learned that it's not me alone, because, I think we all probably have the same YouTubes and stuff. So I like to visit watch places, or different races. So see how Italians operate, how Russians, Albanians. Yeah. And I realized there's something with a lot of men where, so for watch people, when they say mazal, that's deal. And that's my word. Like a handshake. If men, billions of dollars transport from a handshake.
Yeah.
And it's not signed on paper as yet, but it's getting done. And when you see people make sure that everything they're saying is on paper. When you hear people start talking like that, that means that they don't put much value to words.
To words and character.
Yeah. So, because obviously, when deals are taking place and stuff, paperwork is super important. But if this isn't something, there's things that a handshake, if I say I'm gonna buy something from you and we shake hands on it, and say I own a store and we shake hands on it, I'm buying that. Yeah. That's now my word is there. I can't have you take it off inventory and I'm putting it down for you, and then you start telling me, something come up and this and that. Now
you lose reputation.
Now your credibility is crashed.
It's so funny because being a dark-skinned man in America and even in LA here, I don't experience a lot of the same issues that I think a lot of my counterparts experience. but it's primarily because I think, you know, or not. I don't think a lot of my dark skinned counterparts don't have good character. I think there are a lot of dark skinned people with great character and don't get the, you know, appreciation for it.
The moment you start trying to explain yourself, you're digging a hole.
No. True.
I'm messing with
but
you.
I'm saying that to emphasize, like, I've been living out here for some time, and like every restaurant I go to or every place that I'm a frequent shopper or whatever it is, I start to get discounts and they start, you know, giving me special deals and things of that nature, because I'm the type of person that even when I got my car, I came, talked to the car guy, I chopped it up with him, I looked at the numbers, whatever. I said I'll be back tomorrow with all the money. I'll buy it tomorrow. He didn't believe me. I told him I would be there at 7 a.m. I was there at 7 a.m. waiting for him. And literally because of that, he helped me out with some more discounts. Or, you know, like people really, really respect your word. And as you level up, like things are more and more based on that. I have a friend whom, you know, owns a hospice company, and he's one of my closest friends. And he fell on some times, and he came to me and he asked me if he could borrow, you know, a couple of tens of thousands of dollars. And I said, okay, you know, my girl I was with, she was like, are you sure you're gonna do that? And I'm like, he would do it for me. I know his character. And the exact time he told me he would pay me back, he did. Yeah, and when I fell on hard times, he loaned me money too. It's relationships.
Because you know his character. Because that's funny, because I have friends right now that I am closer with, that if they ask me for money, if I have it to give them, if they say loan to me, I'm going to be like, I know your character. I'm not getting this back.
Yeah. I'm giving it to you mentally.
And there are friends that I would say no. And I always hope that I don't fall on hard times, because it's hard to put yourself in a situation where you have to like go like to borrow. But when some people, even if I have the money, I'm not going to give it to them.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not getting it back. And some people, I might not know him. I might know a guy for 15, 20 years out of my life. And if he asks me to borrow money, I won't lend it to him. But I might meet a person and I know him for 6 months, 1 year. And by his character, I'm like, I just feel like there's a possibility for me to get it back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad, but it don't have nothing to do with like friendship and how long. It's just
character.
You know people and you don't look at them different. I know some people that you can't lend them money. I have friends right now that I know I'm not gonna destroy the friendship to like lend you money. I remember my brother asked me to borrow money. And when I said to him, I was like, yo, listen to me. I'm gonna give you this money. You don't have to give me back if you don't want to. If one day you have the money and you feel like you want to give it back to me, give it to me. Because I'm going to beat your ass if I feel like you owe me money and you're not paying me.
So, now I have to act differently.
Exactly. So might as well, let me give it to you with a good heart, not expecting it back. And then if it comes back, it's like, woo.
Yeah, it's a plus.
Because at the end of the day, like, my dad can't call me, ask me to borrow money. What am I going to do if I don't get it back? Nothing. I just lost the money.
Yeah. Shoot, man, my plan, when I get in the position that I want to be in, you know, I'm not going to, my family, I love them to death, but I'm not going to give them no exorbitant amount, you know, just to have. Like, you need to have a business that you're trying to make. You need to have something. And granted, yeah, I'm petty. I want 10% of that business.
Do you have family back home?
Of course, yeah.
So I think for especially like Caribbeans or like West Africans, so it's the rite of passage for me to take care of family.
It is.
That's how it is.
They don't understand it here, though.
Exactly. I have to take care of family. My mother and father was always away. I grew up with my two grandmothers. I have to take care of my two grandmothers, no matter what. No matter what I'm doing, if there is something that I need to provide and it's a necessity, I just have to give it to them. And there is a thin line between being used
Man.
and actively having to take care. And I know there are a lot of people in the comments right now, that, we have family back home and we have to be a lot of the times people look at America as you are in the promised land.
They do.
And because you're there, I no longer have to do nothing. Whatever you do, however hard you work, needs to benefit me.
Yeah.
So it's a thin line between, am I getting used or do I really need to do this right now?
It's sometimes even both. Like it really is sometimes even both. Like, for a fact, that because they know you're the one making something, that they're gonna come to you.
It's funny,
but like
they might think you're making way more than you're actually making.
Yeah. But I've had to set boundaries at times when I was trying to build up that, I can only do so much. And granted, that pissed people off, made people feel a certain way, but it's a fact of life, especially for like us immigrants. Like, I think a lot of like the younger guys coming up and things of that nature, I would really, really push y'all to have a time period where you really are selfish, but not selfish in the sense that you're just, hoarding wealth, but use your money to build and be in a position to give,
Have emergency.
Yeah. Have emergency fund, help those who you must, but also build up where you could actually truly give and truly help.
You kind of have to put yourself first.
You do.
I really think
you have to reinvest into yourself always, constantly. Like, it's crazy because I'm like, even now, I'm doing well and things of that nature. But, I'm always thinking, should I get a law degree? Should I start another business? Should I buy a business? Like, I'm always constantly thinking because, like, there are levels to this life game that, like, once you get to a certain level, it's nothing to help, truly. And that's when it's like, okay, you kind of messed up for not looking out.
Exactly.
If it's nothing to you. If it's
What's
1%.
funny is I'm always on the brink of bankruptcy.
That's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm always on the brink of, oh shit, this shit all might goes to shit. But when I say bankruptcy, to me, I mean bankruptcy. What surprises me is a guy that goes broke and never knew he was gonna go broke.
Oh yeah.
That blows my mind to see, like, what do you mean? Like, if I say brink of bankruptcy, that means, all right, then in a couple months, if shit don't change, and like, I don't know, say put out a time, say damn near, if shit don't change in 4 or 5 months, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
That's not really broke. That's just you understanding the situation and thinking. I don't know
you're
how
just in a spot right now.
Yeah, I don't know how people wake up and just go broke.
Hey, I think a lot of times it's based off of them not understanding what's going on.
But life can happen though, because I've seen some crazy. I've seen like you decent, you up like 15, you crash, you fucked your car up, insurance not covering. The person hit and run, $7,000 to fix the car. Like, I've seen
life has happened to me many times.
Life always lifes.
Yeah.
So I think for that, I always live like that. Like, all right then, let me put something in stocks over there, or just as you say before. What do I need to do? Let me open this another company right now, because people don't understand. Opening companies, that's me getting access to new debt.
This is true. It really is true.
Yeah. Me opening a company, that means, all right, that's 2-3 more credit cards to go razzle dazzle and make something out of.
Make something shake.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because I've been following this rule I use financially like damn near my entire life now, and it's the 30-30 rule. And it's like you should be, whatever your life expense should be 30% of the money you make. 30% of your money should go into assets and investments, and then another 30% of that should go to investing in your own life. It's not the same. So like getting more education, that's investing in your life. Buying a property, stocks and things of that nature, that's investing in assets and things of that nature.
Yeah.
At some point in time, if those two, one of them got to be up. One of them will be up and will save you. Whereas sometimes, you know, one of them will go down or what have you. But as long as you really stick to trying to make sure that your expenses are only 30% of your overall income, you'll safeguard yourself. Like, and you really will be okay. And this is coming from an individual that I grew up with nothing, man. I really did. And that being said, I've seen my family progress from Section 8 to lower middle class. And even that was crawling up. You know what I'm saying? And even like where I'm at right now, shoot, you know, I'm doing all right for myself. And that being said, it's interesting how much more and more and more and more you learn and how much more access to the world you get as you improve yourself and as you increase upon yourself. Like you really have more opportunity when you create more opportunity.
Yeah. Wait, and my like slogan is create your own opportunities. That's how I've been living my life. I always just go out there and try to do something. But the funny part is I cannot remember a time in my life, even now, when I don't see myself as struggling. And when I say struggling, I don't mean because I have a roof over my head and I can pay my bills and I can support myself. But I just feel like, I don't know if it's another form of struggle, but I feel more pressure now than when I didn't, like when I was younger. Like I think when you start seeing possessions or going places and doing stuff, I think the pressure of keeping those stuff or moving up through those classes, it's another set of pressure that, damn, this is, because remember, like, you can have $1,000 a month is you're living that. Now you're living $1,000 a month lifestyle. When you jump to 5,000, there's people out there right now. When you jump to 10 grand a month in expenses,
oh man.
When you start spending 10 grand a month in expenses, that means $120,000 of your life is being spent to just live somewhere, eat.
Yeah.
You're not talking about what you're putting to save or nothing. And there's people out there that is completely normal.
Yeah.
This is normal for them. They spend $10,000 a month on rent.
Like, what do you mean I can't eat a Ruth's Chris every week? Like, you know, like, you know, it's like your taste changes.
Everything about you change.
Everything.
Bro, I was at Tao the other day because I was home and they have like gyozas and edamame. And I wanted some gyoza and edamame. I walked over to Tao, normal white shirt, shorts, sat at my gyozas, edamame, and I saw people walking in for like,
Dates.
It's her birthday and
it's a celebration. I'm just here to eat.
It's a celebration and I'm just hungry. And sometimes that's when you have to be thankful and you kind of understand that it's just a different situation. Like that is somewhere that somebody only goes maybe one, like that's probably a restaurant that somebody hopes to visit one day.
Yeah.
Or every Sunday I go to Santa Monica. Every Sunday I go, I get a bicycle, I ride the bicycle, I look at the beach, I look at the houses, take my shirt off, do the pull-up bars, and I would like post it.
That's somebody's dream experience.
Somebody in the world right now is That is and even when I'm there, I'm seeing people like, hey, take a photo of me. This is the GTA.
Right.
Because that's why I love there. That's my favorite place in LA. Because it reminds me of GTA.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. But then that's where I'm at. I'm there every Sunday now. So it's like a part of like my whole life.
Yeah.
And to see people there and they're like, oh my God. Have you ever told somebody like, where do you live? And you're like, oh, I live in Hollywood or I live in LA.
Yeah.
And you see how they look at you?
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like you live in this magic pixie land. And the funny thing is, in a way, it's true. Like, in a way, it really is true. I travel and I went to Brazil for a month. And like, I actually, at a point in certain places, I didn't tell people where I was from and things of that nature. Because the moment I say, oh, I live in Hollywood and things of that nature, they're just like, wow.
Wow, you go to look at the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's people's dream to see.
Listen to me. I live 3 minutes from when I walk out my house, if I turn, I'm on Vine, and that's the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That is the dirtiest, smelliest. You see Spider-Man.
You're trying to get stabbed if you want to go over
You're trying to get. There's nothing appealing about it.
No. Not at all.
But you know what? But when you look online and you see people getting their names written in the stars and they're like taking the pictures it's like Miami and the high rises. Yeah. You go to Miami, you want to rent an Airbnb because you can do the high rise and you see everybody taking pictures. And then you look through the window, you see a guy, he lives there. He don't give nothing. This is where he lives. This is
shirtless, eating a hot dog, watching TV.
Watching TV, don't care about nothing.
No. Man, even now, Malibu, when I first came to LA, it was so amazing and stuff. And now, when I think about going down to Malibu, I'm like, man, it's cold over there.
It's cold.
I'm like,
I'm thinking about the traffic to drive down there.
I'm like, they don't even have any good food over there.
I don't want to be on the 101 that long.
Literally. Like, literally, the PCH. I'm like, man, who got time for that, man? I have to drive 30 minutes to get back to the east side.
I have to go all the way over there.
Who wants to even go over there? Like, literally. It's crazy. My family comes out to LA once in a while, and matter of fact, even when I go back home, because my taste has changed so much.
What state did you live?
My family still lives in Maryland, so I was kind of raised in the DMV.
Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm having a show in DC.
Oh, that's what's up.
March 8th at the DC Improv.
That's my stomping grounds.
Hey, people, get the tickets. DC Improv, March 8th.
The DMV, great people, smart people. But I go out there and it's horrible to say sometimes, but I feel like I can't find anything really good to eat. And before, I love all those spots, all those places that I would get food from over there. But now, I love me some Carlitos Gardel, like I have a particular taste in food nowadays that I just can't find everywhere. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, the only places that I can really find some of the things that like I have a taste for is probably in the country of its origin. Like I love Brazilian food. My favorite steakhouse or my favorite place to go get some steak and some meat out here was H&H, but then it changed. Got some more bread and things of that nature. I'm like, I like some better steakhouses. People talk to me about H&H. I'm just like, it's not really my forte no more. Like I would just go there on a random day, and
that's normal.
That's normal,
bro. I learned so much just by living in a new environment. I'm also happy that I came here, the age that I came here, and I always tell people, if you're watching my podcast, the only thing that really changed my life was a book and my environment. You start reading. And people. Yeah, but I think everything is kind of the environment. Like the environment you're in determines the people you're going to be around. And whatever you are, that's what you're going to attract. So you're going to, whatever you're thinking, however your mind is, if you look around you and the people around you not thinking like you, you're probably in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Or if I want to see how you think, let me see the people around you.
No, it's very true. Plus, even on the tip of the sexual marketplace that we were talking about, right? I used to live out in Atlanta, and my particular type of guy that I am is a little bit more minimalistic, right? I like to be swaggy but neat.
That's not gonna work in Atlanta. In
it does
Atlanta,
not
you a
work.
nerd.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm an undercover cop.
Yeah. In LA, you fit in. In Atlanta, you're a police.
Yeah, I'm the police.
Yeah, you got the police cut. You got
Yeah, I'm my jewelry isn't flash. I got a white gold necklace on, and
Yeah, right. Right now, this screams All Saints. Yeah, you the All Saints stainless steel wearing nigga.
Yeah, rag
Chrome
and
hearts
bone.
probably,
You know exactly.
Yeah.
But like when I go back to Atlanta, like I remember going to Atlanta this one time, and like matter of fact, I have this thing I do when I go to a new city, and which is like a hack. When I moved to Atlanta, which I learned in college, if you really want to know how a city moves and how it works, go to the nightclubs at 3 a.m. Not before they close, but when they're closing, and just stand outside and watch people. It sounds crazy, but in Atlanta, you'll see all the young guys huddled outside, just talking to each other, no women. All the young, beautiful women coming out with old men, majority of them bald or what have you, or coming out with older men trying to look young with crazy chains and grills and things of that nature. And this is in Buckhead. This is where people actually have money. It's really funny. Now you go to DC and you do the same thing. You'll see men coming out with suits, and a nice watch.
When I went to DC, what I learned from America, in DC, it's majority of like successful black people.
It's old money black people.
They all got good jobs.
Yes.
They all work for the government somewhat. It's very political over there, though.
It's extremely. That's what I don't like. But
yeah, I don't like that. But when I go to DC, the people that like come to my shows, I'm like, what do? They're like, oh, a lot of FBI agents, CIA.
I'm a lobbyist.
Yeah, they lobby for something. It's
lawyers.
Doctor. Yeah, it's one of them cities where, they got professions there. It's not you're not gonna find a lot of mechanics.
Oh no.
Even though mechanics it makes a lot of money, DC feels very white collar.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing too about the DMV area. That's just it's a pleasure growing up out there. Is because people's diplomats have their kids there and things. I went to high school with I wouldn't say the former dictator, but the leader of Chad. His grandson, his father was the ambassador for Chad, and like literally just normal. To me, it was just normal, and I didn't even go to no crazy affluent school. His parents just probably just had to be in that part of town. And that being said, like you see every race, every color, every level of people interacting with each other. Like I was broke as hell.
But you just happen. That's why the school that you go to as a child is super important.
Oh man, I had a mentor that actually from DC, Stacy Milan, one of the biggest commercial real estate investors and agents, and one of the best. He put me on to something, and he was like, when you get kids, try your best to put them in the most prestigious elementary school and things of that nature. And
need to be able to afford it.
You do, but I was like, why? I asked him why, and he was like, because when you go into the PTA meetings, you're going to be kicking it with the governor. When you go see your kid play soccer, you're hanging out with the best lawyer in town. Now you guys have a connection through your kids. Now your kids are friends, and now they like you for no reason.
I used to tell myself when I was younger, and this is how environment can change perspective. I used to always say my kid has to go to Kingston College. KC.
Not anymore.
Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't want to rob that experience from him.
Same, yeah.
If he's athletic, say I have a son. If he's athletic, I wouldn't want to rob him. So I wouldn't close the door on having my son attend Kingston College. But If I have a son or a daughter, I'm doing everything in my power to get them into a private school. I don't. I need that network.
Yeah.
Or that network will need me.
Absolutely.
But it's so important the people that you have your kids around, because you see, when the connection that you will be better than any connection, because it's children. No, your children might have a sleepover at my house.
Exactly.
My children might have a sleepover at yours. You know, the friendship that we will build
It's
from
completely different.
children is completely different.
And even the friendships your kids would build. I mean, I think the CIA director a couple years ago and like the Secretary of State, they went to like elementary school together. And it's funny because it's like so many of those ties, you think people were just moving up through life, getting to these extremely high positions because they went to a certain school. No, it's because their best friend is now the CEO of an energy company, and they need, energy.
Bro,
It's
the same thing on a bigger scale. So in Kingston College, say I finished high school in Jamaica, there are a lot of KC, we call them old boys. There are a lot of us. And there's a lot of KC old boys in like really high positions in Jamaica. And having I went to Kingston College on a resume, you're getting hired.
For sure.
It's like a Harvard, or you're getting hired. Because like for me, if I'm looking at a resume right now and the videographer or somebody says, oh, they went to Kingston College, you are now at the front of you'll have to fail first before I
say no to you.
Yeah,
you have to be horrible.
I'd have to see that you're not good.
Yeah.
If like even something as simple as if I'm looking through DMs right now, and if somebody comments, I'm gonna notice the person that sends the purple art, because I'm gonna be like, oh, that's probably a KC person. So I'm just imagining if on this scale it's like this. I have WhatsApp groups, like KC Old Boys, Alma Mater. There's dues that we give to the school. Boys and Girls Champs?
Yeah.
30,000 people every year. People fly back to Jamaica, the Old Boys. We donate. We build a gym. We like, the brotherhood of that school is insane. It's actually like a cult.
Every college that is actually good at something it is, or school it is. Mm-hmm. Like even me right now, even when going to Clemson, when the football games will happen, there's always alumni coming, and they'll stop the game for a second and be like, "Oh, this alumni donated $10 million," and they're, hello,
and then and then you see a bunch of old guys with a bunch of money.
Yeah,
like
and even that's community. It's everywhere, and you have to dive in it. And it's like even out here in LA, which is it's so funny because even when you apply to a job, they ask you where you live. And because it matters to them, your zip code, it matters. Here in LA, if I tell somebody where I live and I'm like, oh, I live in Silver Lake, that automatically tells them something about me.
Bro.
Oh, you have this. Oh, you're this type of person. No, so-and-so. I live in Beverly Hills. Oh, okay.
When I just came to LA, my first driver's license had a Manhattan Beach address.
That's a plus.
Let me tell you something. I got pulled over by the police. You see the Manhattan Beach? Have a good day.
Literally?
They don't give me no back and forth, no nothing. You show them a map. I remember making a U-turn. I turned on a one-way street in Rodeo, around the Beverly Hills on Rodeo, and the police pulled me over. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I made a mistake. And he's like, let me see your driver's license, please. And bro, when he got the driver's license and he saw the address, he said, you still live in Manhattan Beach? I said, yes. He said, all right, sir, don't do it again. Have a good day.
It's true. It's so crazy. I was speeding going to San Diego, and literally I got stopped, and a cop asked me, oh, where did you just come from? I said, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I just came from LA, and I just left church, and I'm just going down to San Diego. And like I said all the magical words for him, because he didn't say nothing else. He didn't even go to his car and come back. He was like, Oh, LA. Oh, okay, all right, okay.
And then the conversation.
Look at the car. Oh, how much was this?
People don't understand, and even that too. Like every time I get pulled, say if I get pulled over by police, like I still drive to Manhattan Beach, and I go to the pier, My little ritual is like at least once a month I drive to the pier, and I walk out on the pier and I look, and I would like look at the houses and shit. And I normally would do it spontaneous, like 11:30, 12 o'clock in the night. Just jump in my car, drive out there. Now, bear in mind, now that's 35 minutes away. I drove out there maybe like last week. And when it was raining, I drove out there. And the police pulled me over saying that I was driving like missing like lanes. And when she like pulled me over, she was like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm just going down to the pier to see. She's like, let me get your license and registration, please. Bear in mind, I don't have the Manhattan Beach license anymore. So I gave her my license, but when I gave her my license, I have a permit for a firearm. So I gave her the permit as well. And she was like, did you have any drinks today? I said, no, ma'am, I don't drink. She's like, so why are you just going down to the pier? I said, this is what I do. I normally just go to the pier, clear my head, look out on the ocean. And she's like, okay, no tickets today. Gave me, and I'm like, I had to have looked or said something that displayed this person is not a threat. Because even when I gave her the permit, and she's like, where is it? I said, it's in the glove compartment. She never asked to see it. She never cared about it. She's just like, okay, be careful. Gave me back my driver's license. First of all, I didn't even have any front plates on.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't drive with front plates.
Shoot, one funny thing about LA people will be out here with no plates at all.
Yeah, no plates.
No plates. They just don't care. And granted, I'm afraid of the police. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I am.
So I don't play around with them in general. But I mean, also I don't do anything crazy to really be bothered.
I remember how I was treated when I had a Florida tag.
Jeez.
And they pulled me over when I first moved there. And I told them like, I live in that house. And they're like, let me see you walk in and open the door. I'm like, I've never heard of that ever. Mm-hmm. So it's really about one, where you are, how you speak to them.
Yeah.
That's very important. You gotta watch it. But your environment, it's amazing to see how your entire life changes.
Everything.
When your circle does. And some of the times it even puts you in a spot of guilt. Because when you separate yourself from an environment and then you go back to it, and then the people that you left look at you as the same as when you were leaving, and you're not that person anymore, there's now a big disconnect. Because now it's like, you think you're better than us. Because like, and all of a sudden things change.
Man, the guilt for me that came with success was more so the fact that I couldn't be honest with people. I couldn't be honest with people about what was going on in my life. I couldn't be honest about what I purchased. I couldn't be honest about what I like to eat. I couldn't be honest because I knew, and I've always been conscious of just not trying to encourage envy. And I know it's like, envy is not your own fault, some people believe, but I have a firm belief of taking responsibility for things that happen in my life before I give anyone else responsibility. If somebody did me wrong, I put myself in that position. Somebody stole from me, I wasn't conscious enough to see it coming.
I don't know why I always do that. I always try to find out what did I do. Even if somebody did me the worst way possible,
yeah,
it's like, what did I do to cause that?
Literally.
Every time.
But having that mentality gives you a certain level of autonomy over your life, even if it's a facade. It gives you that autonomy that makes you at least try to improve
myself first before I make a decision.
Literally. And like in general, like anything that happens to me, anything good or bad, I always take responsibility first in regards to what happens. Matter of fact, actually, no, good. Generally, you know, I'm like, you know, that's probably God, universe, whatever you believe in. But after that, you know, then I take responsibility. But anything bad, I always try to take responsibility. And it's like when life improves and you know, you are making more money and things of that nature, you would think, let's say you start making $15,000 a month. You would start thinking, oh, you know, if you have a good heart, you're like, oh, I should give and things of that nature. Then the expenses start coming in. Then you start thinking about what if? And then now you're investing correctly and things of that nature. And now I don't feel like 15,000 is coming in no more. It feels like it was the same. But things are growing and things are working out. Now you got to make more.
Yeah.
Now you got to do more.
Because now that's what I say. That's what I was saying about the struggle. So it's like no matter what you're making, you're just moving from one struggle
to a new one,
to another one, which is sometimes even more burden because now you're thinking, now it's not, I want to make 10 grand or I want to make 5. Now it's, if I don't make that, I'm losing everything.
Literally. Or even like you get to a certain level of success and wealth and things of that nature, and you start to see the realities of things. You start to realize what's like fake, what is a conspiracy, what like people are moving with like mob mentality, and like you just can't mess with it no more. And it makes it so hard to not judge others or judge things based off of perception. Because like, you know, you grow up having nothing and you get a hyper sense of awareness for danger or a hyper sense of awareness for people who come from something or a certain way. Like I know, you know, cops don't really have the best sense of observing the different types of black people. But you come from the hood and you see a certain guy dressed a certain way, moving a certain way, you already know what's happening. You already, no matter what country you're in. I was in Brazil and this couple got robbed right in front of me, but I saw it coming. I literally saw it coming because I've been robbed.
So you're like, yeah, this gonna happen. You gonna get robbed.
Yeah, oh, they're getting robbed for sure. I was watching the motorcycle pulled up right next to them a little slow, and I was just like, they had every opportunity not to get robbed. They just did not see it coming. What I'm gonna do, yo? You're gonna get robbed. No.
You're gonna just have to just let it happen.
I'm gonna just have to let it happen. They gotta learn their life lessons. You know, I'm not the police.
All I have to say to people before we leave, I'm letting people know, mentality makes money. Money don't make mentality.
No.
That's definitely. So when you see someone's income change, just know that their mentality changed before.
Yeah.
And
you should pray that's the case, because if your mentality don't change and you get everything,
you lose everything after.
And you die young.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
Fact. So people, you know, this was a good day. Mr. Oliver, I need you to tell the people your socials.
Social media, you can follow me on Instagram at It's Oliver Lloyd. That's ITSOLIVERLLOYD. And soon to be the same thing on YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm gonna invite Oliver to do all the nerdy stuff. People don't think Crooks and Oliver would be super nerds. That would be a super nerdy conversation. I cannot wait for that. So people, this was a good day. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You know, people, we're out of here.